family, welcome back to my channel. For those who have not subscribed yet, listen, you will not be disappointed. Subscribe and come be a part of the family. Today I'm getting on to give my perspective of what it's like to be married to an extrovert. So a couple of shows ago, we got on, my husband and I got on. You can kind of hear his voice in the background in our conversation, but you mostly see me. And I asked him, what is it like to be married to an introvert? And he was very transparent, and that's fine because that's what we do on this show. So I'm getting on today to give my perspective on what it's like to be married to an extrovert. So one of the things I will point out is my husband is so full of energy. Like, I'm full of energy, but at some point it runs out and I need to step away and rejuvenate. I have to step away and recharge. He doesn't need to do any of that. Like, he's good. And so I think that's a major part in the difference of an introvert and an extrovert. I'll start off strong and I'll be into everything I'm doing, and then eventually, slowly, I need a little break. So I remember this one time that, like, literally, well, this is almost every time. I don't know why I'm saying one time, but everywhere we go, like, he can hold a conversation with strangers for a long period of time, and then he's like, babe, why were you so rude? How come you didn't have a lot to say? I'm like, I don't know that person. So I'm like, y'all were talking about fishing and fishing rods, and like, how did y'all even get to that? Like, all you asked them was, what aisle do we go to find candles, and now you're talking about fishing. Like, what? Who does that? Like, an extrovert does that. And so I try to tell him every time, like, that's who he is everywhere we go. In the last show, I talked about how we were literally just walking down the street. We were just taking a walk around the neighborhood, and a mailman was driving by, and my husband, like, gave him the head nod. Like, I was like, oh, you know him? He was like, no, I don't know him. I was like, why are you greeting him? He's like, that's what you do. That's what we do. I'm like, that's not what we do. That's what extroverts do. So these are, and those things are not annoying. So let me talk about the things that can be a little annoying. Like, when I now need to recharge and you're still on 10, you're still amped. You're still, like, excited and have this full energy. It can be a little draining watching someone with all that energy when you're really trying to recharge. So that's the challenge. I wouldn't say annoying. It's more of a challenge to know when I need to step away and sit on the patio or go for a walk. He can be laid back sometime, but most of the time, yeah, he's on 10. My husband's definitely an extrovert. And just to touch on a little bit of, like, why I believe this happens in the research that I've done. So extroverts, like, whatever's in their mind, they talk about it, they let it loose. Introverts, like, keep a lot in their head. They think a lot. They think a whole lot before they speak, because they want to make sure that what they're saying makes sense. So maybe someone doesn't ask them a follow-up question. Maybe the conversation doesn't have to be as long because you were clear in everything that you said and what you wanted to say. So it's, like, hilarious how we can be in our own head thinking about, how should I say it? When should I say it? Should I say this? Should I say that? Before we even speak. So just think about that for a minute. That alone is draining, that our minds function that way, that we really need to process what we're going to say and make sure that what we say is going to be effective. So before we even speak, we're already draining ourselves. So imagine when we do speak and hold a conversation that's meaningful. Yeah, we can be in our head. So how am I gonna say this? Maybe I could start off saying, you know what I was thinking? No, scratch that. So, like, let me give you another example of, like, challenges. So like extroverts, they can literally talk about anything and enjoy talking about anything, and introverts are not like that. So it's very challenging when my husband is talking about things that for me is not, like, it's not pulling my attention. I'm listening, but it's not making me want to talk or really like use some of my energy, because it's so small. I'm just like, why am I gonna use my energy for that? So let me give you an example. Like today we went apple picking. Awesome, by the way, go apple picking, y'all. It's still in season. So we go apple picking, and while we're driving, he's literally like, that Walgreens has been closed for a long time. I wonder what they're gonna do with it. And I was like, and he was like, babe, like, y'all can say more? Like, what's the for? And I was like, well, that's not really something like I need to make a comment after. And so I had to explain that to him. Like, that's not something that's going to make me talk and be engaged. And like, I'm hearing you and I'm listening, because introverts are also great listeners. But I don't know if I want to have a conversation about the Walgreens closed. So like, there's that challenge where sometimes I think extroverts don't understand. It comes off as rude, or you don't want to talk, but it's more of just like, I'm an introvert and I wouldn't use my energy for that. And it's really, really, literally just that. So like, me and my husband, we're very active people. So we're active in ministry. He's an elder, I'm a minister. We're active with just like making sure we fit in family time, doing our own like personal goals. We're very, I would say, motivated in our careers. Like, we really are serious about where we're headed in our careers, and we enjoy what we do, so we give our all. Like, we always give our all. So like, even after work, he'll be tired, but he'll still have like this energy. And I'm like, after work, I'm like, I'm done.
Mommy, are you ready to run some more?
If we have a family event and, you know, I'm going to give it my all and I'm comfortable because I'm around family, that's another thing. We can talk and enjoy ourselves if we're around people we love and we're comfortable with. So if like there's a family event, I'm giving my all, I'm enjoying myself, but after, I'm done.
Daddy, what's wrong with Mommy?
And with ministry, it's the same thing. Like, I give my all, my husband gives his all, like preaching, teaching, singing, whatever we're called on to do, we're gonna put our best foot forward. And after, you know, he'll come home, he'll take a little nap, and like, that's all he'll need is like a little nap. And I come home and I'm just like, I'm pooped.
Mommy, are you okay?
So that's just like some of the differences and challenges that you have in a marriage. Is it something that can't work? No. I honestly believe opposites attract, and it gives balance in a marriage, that him being an extrovert and me an introvert, like Noah has the perfect blend. And so I actually think it's a good thing, but there are some challenges. It's like any marriage, there'll be some challenges of someone being an introvert and someone being an extrovert, and you just have to learn how to grow and understand like that's who they are and accept it, but also learning how to help them. So like in the last show, I said to my husband, like, when we go out, I talk more, and that's true. When we go out, I talk more. If we're in the house, I don't have much to talk about. What are we talking about? Unless we're watching a great show or series. And he's the opposite. He can talk no matter where we go. He can talk. He doesn't need to have like a new scenery. He can talk. Like, so it's just like having that balance, understanding your mate, understanding what an introvert means and what an extrovert means, and then working around that. But it definitely can work. So it's not a negative thing at all, but I think it's good to like pass down that knowledge and understanding, so that when you decide to start interviewing, or you decide to get married, like, these are some things just to think about, ponder on that. All right, y'all, that was it for today. I will see y'all another day, coming on talking about maybe the same thing. I might bring my girls on some of my friends, and we just get on and we talk about being an introvert and an extrovert. So I have a mix while being married, and what the challenges are, and how some things can actually be interesting due to that. All right, so you all have a great day. Peace.